This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. There has been no shortage of backlash following the Prime Minister's announcement last week that there will be a salary increase for members of Parliament in the next budget cycle. Many argue that the timing is off, while others hold firm to the belief that the new administration simply hasn't done enough to earn a salary hike. Well, here's National Security Minister Marvin Dames' take on what's been put on the table.
And I try to stay out of the politics of it all. We need to see whether what MPs are being paid here today is in line with regional standards, is in line with global standards. And I'm certain once that review is carried out, then some determination would be made.
When asked if the country's cash-strapped economy can handle a salary increase, Minister Dames believes considering all the proposed legislation, foreign direct investment and economic stimulation that's set to take place over the next few months, it could be the right time. Should things pan out differently, he insists the government will not proceed. That aside, Mr. Dames is too convinced that a pay raise could very well root out corruption.
You know, we're saying we want to take an aggressive approach at dealing with corruption at the highest level. A part of that aggressive approach, too, must be a review, too, to make sure that, listen, let's look at salaries, because what the Prime Minister said, we feel that if you're not being paid enough, we will ensure that you're now paid enough so that there is no need for you to surrender to the temptation for which we would have seen in the past in connections with any number of former MPs.
Now, the minister accepts that underpay is no excuse for accepting bribes. Meanwhile, his parliamentary colleague, Works Minister Desmond Bannister, offered up this suggestion to the thorny issue.
Let me put it this way. All the senior officers in my ministry make more money than me. Every single one. All of them in the corporations that I run make more money than me. Now, I'm not jealous of them making more money. But I think that if I'm the minister, there should be some consideration given to looking at how to properly facilitate ministerial and MP salaries. I think that makes sense. And I think if we do it by an independent commission, I think that the Bahamian people will be satisfied.
Opposition leader Philip Davis initially said a salary increase for MPs is long overdue, adding that the government should consider recommendations the former administration made rather than establish a new committee on the matter. Since then, he said he's against the hike and that the government should instead announce a strategic plan to improve the lives of Bahamians. Well, appointing an independent commission to review the salaries of all those in the public sector also has the backing of former PLP MP Philip Galanis.
When you make these kinds of off the mark comments, what tends to happen is that you don't think it through sufficiently and understand what the unintended consequences are. And I don't think that even his cabinet ministers were aware that he was going to make that announcement. And because we live because we operate under the Westminster system, again, the cabinet is collectively responsible for its actions. There ought to be greater discussion around the cabinet table. Based on what I've seen in the newspapers recently, with Parliament, with members of the cabinet saying that they have no comment to make on this, it suggests to me that they were not aware that this was going to happen, that they were blindsided by the Prime Minister's remarks, and that if they're going to work as a cohesive team and be collectively responsible, they need to sit down around the table and make a determination. But again, as I said, only after there's been broad consultation and considered review about whether or not it is appropriate and what is the appropriate amount of salaries that members ought to be increased by.
In other news this evening, quite a gruesome discovery over in the Eastern District of Grand Bahama. Police yesterday evening found a body so badly decomposed that they couldn't even determine the victim's gender. They're relying on a pathologist's report to determine that much, as well as the exact cause of death. In the meantime, the police are appealing to anyone with information that can assist to give them a call at 350-3107 or 350-3112, 911-919, or the nearest police station. Cabinet Office announcing that former parliamentarian Calvin Johnson will be laid to rest in a state-recognized funeral on Thursday at 10 a.m. at St. Francis Xavier Cathedral, West Hill Street. The former immigration minister died last Monday at the Princess Margaret Hospital at the age of 64. His body will lie in repose on Wednesday, November 8th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Butler's Funeral Home and Crematorium, Ernest and York Streets. Our final story is up next.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.